This is home. We have a story of courage, faith, and one incredible little fighter. Our Chase Campbell joins us live in the studio to share the story of Clara Littman. Chase.
1-year-old Clara Littman has already undergone 3 open heart surgeries, but you'd never know it by looking at her. I spoke with her mother Kaylee to hear their remarkable journey, just as Clara prepares to be honored as a featured survivor at the upcoming Mid-Ohio Valley Heart Walk.
This is Home, sponsored by A1 Heating and Cooling and TB Dentistry.
I would say I was about 30 weeks or a little bit before whenever I found out about this. And it was definitely scary news, not knowing what was going to come about with everything.
For Kaylee Littman, what should have been the final months of a joyful first pregnancy became filled with uncertainty. Doctors discovered her unborn daughter, Clara, had an extra hole in her heart.
Knowing before she's even born that she's going to be born with heart issues is very scary. So I think, I spent a lot of time just praying and hoping, for the best of things. I had to put a lot of trust in the cardiologist that we were seeing.
Clara was born on July 17, 2024. An echocardiogram completed shortly after her birth revealed she also had a narrow aortic arch. Kaylee held her daughter for just 1 hour before she was taken to the NICU. And at only 6 days old, Clara underwent her first open heart surgery. Kaylee got a call every hour updating her on her daughter's condition.
The anticipation on waiting on the next call, it was scary, but I was very thankful that they did do that. That way I could keep up to date with everything.
The complications didn't end after that first surgery. Clara needed a second surgery at just 1 month old. The family finally went home after 72 days in the cardiac ICU. But in July, doctors discovered another blockage. Clara needed a third surgery.
We had no idea that she even had anything going on again. She was, moving around, doing everything just fine. And then we went for an echo and saw that, she had that blockage. And then it was within a couple of weeks, they said that we need to have surgery, and it was a pretty quick turnaround. I didn't have much time to process that. So that was scary.
Through it all, Kaylee documented Clara's journey with these beads of courage. Each bead represents a procedure, a poke, a doctor visit.
It just brings back memories of whenever we were in there. And it was a very scary thing, but this definitely shows, the courage that Clara had being there. Yes, she might be too young to remember, and I hope, that she never has to remember any of this, but, this will always be a representation of everything that she went through.
Today, Clara's thriving. She's crawling, playing, and slowly being weaned off her medications.
You would never know when you look at her that she's been through what she has. Having 3 heart surgeries under a year old is not something that I've heard of very often, and for to be able to go through that with her, it was definitely scary as a mom, but, I'm just so thankful that she is here and able to be thriving the way she is.
For other parents facing similar journeys, Kaylee has this advice.
Every doctor told me that there was nothing that I could have done differently. So, just know that it isn't their fault, and that, just to pray and have faith and hope and everything, that everything will be okay and God has us under control. Even though it is one of the scariest things that any parent could go through, that it will all be okay in the end.
This year, Clara will be honored as a featured survivor at the Mid-Ohio Valley Heart Walk, an event Kaylee knew nothing about until her daughter's diagnosis.
Being asked by the American Heart Association for Clara to be the featured survivor was really, really exciting, and I look forward to it for Clara for years to come. One day we can look back on this event, and I think it's just a wonderful thing that the American Heart Association does, and that Parkersburg can host something like that, and that everyone can come and support all of the heart warriors out there.
The 2025 Mid-Ohio Valley Heart Walk begins next Thursday, October 16th at 5 p.m. at Parkersburg City Park. In Parkersburg, Chase Campbell, WTAP News. This is Home.
In the 2 weeks since I met Kaylee and Claire for the story, they've lingered in my mind more than most people I interview. They remind me that courage and strength often take unglamorous and quiet forms. The unwavering faith and love of a mother, a baby learning to breathe on her own after enduring 2 surgeries in her first month of life. Claire is young enough that she won't have to remember the hardest parts of her fight, but we should. She shows us that hope can thrive even in the smallest of hearts. Thanks, Phyllis. Back to you.
Chase Campbell reporting live in the studio. Chase, great story. Thank you. Still ahead, a First Lady